I always love trying new fishing spots, and we're going to do that on this week's show. The place we're coming to you from today is all kinds of intricate little ditches and canals and swampy looking little places, every one of which looks like they ought to hold a fish. And some of them do, and we're going to catch some of them. Why? Because our show is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hi everybody, right now it is morning in far south Texas. We are coming to you this week from the Texas Gulf Coast, the home of Fishing Galveston, Texas and Freeport, Texas fishing charters. We're at the fish cleaning station right now. Hope to need that later on today. We're going to take you out today at a place we've never been. It's Freeport, Texas. This is a unique and diverse fishery located right on the Gulf Coast that's got all kinds of inshore and offshore fishing. We're going to talk about that this week. Now, we've already got the Blazer Bay 2420 GTS rigged up, launched, ready to go. Man, what a boat this is. We're going to show that to you today and maybe catch a few fish out of it. In fact, Captain Greg Verm Jr. is already in the boat. He's rigging me a rod right there. He's got the perfect bait. We're going to go out and see if I can catch a redfish, maybe a speckled trout, maybe a flounder. Going to fish inshore today and talk a little bit about some of the offshore fishing that's also available right here at Freeport. While we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports for this week from our expert team of insider reporters. We're going to cover both saltwater and freshwater fishing right near where you live from all of our reporters. It's going to be a lot of fun right now. We get the Blazer Bay 2420 GTS down the canals and out in the lakes and ditches and creeks that are Freeport, Texas. See what we can catch. Right now, let's get things started back at the studio with your weekend planner.
Thanks for joining us. The Solunar tables are predicting just fair game fish activity for this holiday weekend. For the most part, the peak game fish activity should take place during the dawn and dusk hours for all 3 days. Be sure to check these specific times of the day that you'll be on the water. Expect the sun to rise at 6:25 and set at 8:28. Evenings will feature a moon that is 62% visible. Stay with us. We've got fishing reports from across the area on the way, plus Major League Fishing angler Jacob Wheeler will be with us to answer your Ask the Pro question. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Request our free 2019 fishing guide at orangebeach.com.
I caught a flounder. How about that? We're up here with Captain Greg Verm Jr. Something. Where is he? Flounder. I caught a flounder. How about that? Not bad for a first one. All right. Hey, there we go. Well, glad to have you along today, everybody. We are on a really nice day. Fishing out of Freeport, Texas today, and there's the first fish of the day. Nice little flounder. If we were keeping them today to go back home, that one would make a nice fillet. But we're up here with Captain Greg Verm Jr. It kind of hurts me to do this right here, but that one's going to go back right there. Well, glad you brought us out here today. Tell us, this is your home water right here. This is the water you guide on all the time. Why don't you explain this area? I've never been to Freeport before, so what kind of an area is this?
Okay, so this is like a real marshy area. We're here in Oyster Creek. It's about a 10-mile bayou that comes out and opens into the Intercoastal Waterway. We're here. There's a lot of oyster reefs working on the shorelines, and we're here just working them. And right here on this little ditch right here, we've got some good water movement and nice flounder right there.
So, big long creek hits the Intercoastal, and then just on the other side of that you can actually get out to the Gulf from there. So you've got just all kinds of, as you said, lakes, bayous, canals, creeks. Right. This thing is just a big giant marshy swamp full of water.
Right. We're not too far from the beachfront and jetty right now. About 10 minutes boat ride, we'd be out there in the Gulf. So
Well, that gives you a little bit of the lay of the land, and we showed you a couple of shots of kind of what this place looks like. Never been here, but it's really neat, and there's always something interesting to look at. A lot of shorebirds, a lot of wildlife, hopefully a lot of fish today. So we'll fish down this creek right here, this bayou, see if we can catch another one, see what else we can catch for you today. Let's go fishing some more.
Hey everybody, this week's Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama Fishing Report is brought to you by Bass Mafia. For the finest, most high-end technical options in tackle storage, check them out at bassmafia.com. Your tackle storage will never be the same. You know, this is a fun time right now. There's a lot going on. If you like the bass fish, you can catch them shallow, you can catch them deep. You like the catfish, they're pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn. Crappie are about the same. In Mississippi, the I-65 corridor lakes are great right now for big crappie. A lot of them have spawned, so they're starting to gang up again out there where you can catch them long line and spider rigging and catch a lot of big ones at one time. They've just spawned, they're hungry, they're ready to eat, so it's a great time to go down there and catch them pulling baits. In Alabama, Smith Lake is pretty hard to beat right now. Those big spots have spawned, and there's a lot of fry, so you got a lot of fry guarding, and they get real aggressive. A wake bait, a topwater bait, a swim bait's pretty hard to beat right now on the mid to lower end of the lake. As far as Tennessee goes, Chickamauga is it. I mean, Chickamauga is day in and day out. They're just catching 10-pounders down there every day. A lot of big bass being caught right now offshore. Swim baits, deep diving crankbaits are starting to come into play. Those bigger groups of fish are starting to congregate out on the offshore stuff. Just get out there, just throw around, you're gonna catch them. We'll see you, God bless.
There we go. There's a Freeport redfish for you right there. Just an orange, beautiful specimen. Got you a redfish?
I think so. There
Yeah,
it is,
it is.
good fish.
Let's go all the way around, chase him in a circle.
Good fish.
Well, Captain Greg Berm has got a hold of a redfish here, and we've got him in our net. There we go. All right, right in the corner of his mouth with a spinnerbait. There we go. There's a Freeport redfish for you right there. Just an orange, beautiful specimen. And I think we've drifted in here on the rocks, but there you go. You want to release him right there, buddy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There we go. All right, way to go, bud.
Fish. Good
Well,
fish.
we've been through a long dry spell, and we kind of made a switch here. We're back up in Oyster Creek,
Oyster Creek,
right?
yes, sir.
Yep. And switched over to some spinner baits and started throwing right up against the rocks. So, do these fish, these redfish, just live in this area, or do they kind of come in and out, or are they here all the time?
They go in and out, you know, depending on if you've had a lot of fresh water, you know, a lot of rain, that'll push them out a little bit further. But lately we haven't had too much rain, so these fish are up here and up in these back parts and up on this oyster reef, just, you know, swimming the shoreline and eating anything that's in their way. So,
Well, I'm real impressed with the diversity of this place. You can do everything. We went out and fished lakes for a while. We went out and fished Christmas Bay for a while, and there are people out there fishing open water oyster reefs. There's up here redfishing almost like you were bass fishing. There's Greg lost a nice speckled trout way back at the mouth of the intercoastal back there. So you really got a wide diversity of stuff you can do here.
absolutely. The further up you go this creek, the fresher the water will get, and we've even caught bass and catfish up you know, far enough if the water's fresh enough, and then all the way, you know, work your way out. You'll get into the redfish, trout, and flounder, stuff like that. So really diverse area for a bunch of different fish.
Just really an intricate maze of just canals and lakes and ponds. It's just an amazing place back in here. All right, well, we're having a good day. Overcast, cloudy, a little wind, a little chop on the water. Got several different species working. We'll go back and see what else we can catch.
It's time for your Carolinas Report, this week brought to you by the Crazy Sister Marina, located on the Marsh Walk in Merle's Inlet, the leader in water sports. We have been for years. Hey, June's coming up. Great month to get offshore. Come book a trip on one of our wonderful trips. You can get out on the New Inlet Princess Head boat or any of our private boats to get out and do some trolling. Book your trip now. Visit crazysister.com for more information. I'll tell you what, bass fishing throughout the Carolinas and even down into Georgia, incredible this time of the year. This is when I switch up, start concentrating a lot of top water. I'll tell you what, right now, I've got the new prop frog out, and this thing is incredible. I'm fishing the grass beds here along the Waccamaw River, looking for those fish that are coming out. They've been in that spawn mode, they're out as post-spawn. And I'll tell you what, I want to go up, and my good buddy, Greg Carrigan, in North Carolina, in Charlotte, I always look for reports from him, has given me some great reports recently. The crappie are starting to move on top of those beds. They're getting real thick. He's having a lot of luck in 12 to 15 foot of water locating them. Live bait's working great on a jig head, and he's catching some real big crappie this time of the year. You can too as well. This has been your Carolinas Report, brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
There he is.
You got one?
Redfish.
Yeah, you do. There we go. There's another one. Not a big one, but we'll just flop him in here real quick. All right, there we go. Another one on a spinnerbait. We've got them eating these spinnerbaits. Hey, Greg, we're catching redfish today, but you guys have got a little secret that happens around here on days when you get a calm wind and not much going on. Tell us a little bit about the offshore fishing that guys do.
That's right, Barry. So we're up here in Turtle Cove is where our lodge is, where we offer lodging. And we do some offshore fishing out of there as well. About 5 miles from there, you're in the open ocean, so it's not too far at all. Kingfish, red snapper, cobia, wahoo, do it all.
Really?
Yes, sir.
All that stuff right here out of Freeport, so you can catch redfish, speckled trout, flounder, all these inshore species. We'll let that one go back real quick. But really, in an hour from here, you can actually be catching all those deep sea species.
Right. So up here, you got your redfish, speckled trout, flounder, and if you go up far enough to where the water gets fresh enough, you can catch, some largemouth bass or catfish, and then, go the other way and you're in the open ocean and catching wahoo, snapper, and cobia, and kingfish.
When you can get out there on days when it's pretty calm, is it pretty guaranteed that you're going to catch something out there?
There's a very good possibility that you're going to catch some fish. Red snapper, when the snapper season opens, can be very good, and along with kingfish and cobia and all that other stuff too.
All right, well, you can do that. Check them out on their website. We'll give you all the contact information a little bit later, but right here out of Freeport, unbelievable amount of diversity, including the offshore species.
Buck Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lose. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland, the best in bass and crappie lures, heads to tails. Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades. Balls Out, made in the USA. Heavy-duty mounts for your fish finders.
Look at the color in these reds. They are just gorgeous. Here we go. I got one on. That's a good red. I need the net, Greg. Come up here, partner. We got him. All right, we got us a red. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're still pounding away at it down here at Freeport. I want you to look at the color in these reds. They are just gorgeous. And look at that big black dot there on his back and on his tail. And just a beautiful red. All right, Greg, let's let that one go back. See you, bud. And no worse for the wear. Let me get out of these oysters here. And Greg, step over here just a second. I want to ask you something. Every fish that we've caught, every bite that we've had, and by the way, we've lost a bunch of fish today in these oyster reefs, but what you're looking at here, all these shorelines, you've got grassy shorelines, and then you've usually got a space about anywhere from 5 yards to 20 yards, and then there's a line of these oyster reefs along there, and it seems like the redfish, and you hooked a big trout as well, are somewhere between the grass and the edge of the oyster reefs. They're just moving back and forth in that space.
That's right. We're happy to throw over the oyster reef and fish that little space in between the reef and the actual bank, and that's where those fish are holding at.
If you come here, as long as you're fishing somewhere around the edges of these oyster reefs, and by the way, with your polarized sunglasses, I've got my Strike Kings on, you can actually see the little darker color in the water. You can see that little skein of oysters running along there, and as long as you're throwing that spinnerbait somewhere around there, you got a good chance to get bit.
Great fishing along the southeast coast is available this week, but first this from our good friends at Foreshore Transportation. Foreshore Transportation, the simple solution to all your freight hauling needs. Foreshore can ship freight across the country or across the state, including boats. Whatever the load, wherever the destination, Foreshore gets it done fast, safe, and hassle-free. Great dawn spotted sea trout fishing for fish in the 2 to 4 pound class is available along the Mississippi coast, along the barrier islands, primarily Cat, Ship, and Horn Islands. They're taking topwater plugs early in the morning, walk-the-dog type lures like mirror lure top dogs. Wade fishermen doing really well in that shallow water because they can go along very stealthily. In Alabama, the cobia fishing also has been good, and Spanish mackerel and kingfish are available around oil rigs. In southeast Georgia, tarpon and sharks starting to show up. They'll be behind the shrimp boats, and that fishing will only get better and will start to peak in June. Well, that's it for the southeast coast. Get out of the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
There's one. Little red. All right, well, we've got a little pattern working right here. Let me get us pull back off of these shells right here. Well, there's another redfish. Greg, how big do the redfish have to be kept here?
Here in Texas, they got to be a minimum of 20 inches to be able to keep, and that guy looks like he's about 17.
Yep, and how many can you keep a day if you had customers out here and we're keeping fish?
Three per person.
And then you can also keep some trout. How many trout?
Absolutely. You can keep 10 trout right now.
So you keep 10 trout, 3 redfish, and then how many flounder?
5 flounder.
So you could really wind up with a pretty good fried mess of fish. We're going to put that fish back right there. Not a big one. And I guess most of your customers do want to take their fish home, and you guys fillet them for them and bag everything up?
Absolutely. All the keeper fish that we catch, majority of the time the customers want to keep them, we'll throw them in the ice chest, and when we get back to the dock, we'll fillet them and bag them up for them.
Cool. Well, we're going to put the contact information up here for your charter service, and if you'd like to come fishing right here at Freeport, they've got a house to stay in right on the water. That's where we're staying. Everything provided, I guess, in the boat. They don't need to bring anything except...
They show up with a fishing license and whatever they want to eat and drink in a small cooler. So we have everything, the rods, reels, bait, tackle, and we have the boat set in the water ready to go. So
fantastic. So you can contact either Greg Jr. or Greg Sr. Greg is our coastal reporter on the Southwest version of our show. For you folks over in the Southeast, you don't see his reports, but the folks in the Southwest do. So that's Greg's dad. He's been doing that for us for a little while and does a great job with it, reporting on all the fishing down here. So great place to come fishing if you want to come fish. Stay with us. We'll be back.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and the follow button on Twitter, and watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's wireless and easy to use XI3, Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist, Strike King, Taiwan On, and Tracker Boats, America's best-selling fishing boats.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Mark would like to know, when all else has failed, what is your last resort go-to in a tournament? For the answer, we asked Major League Fishing angler Jacob Wheeler.
The last thing that I'm gonna throw when nothing else is working, this is like if I'm really, if you see me throwing this, you're probably like, Wheeler's not catching them. But it catches them really good. I just don't like throwing it, is a Carolina rig. I don't throw a Carolina rig a whole lot. I do for smallmouth, but around the South, it just, for me, it's hard for me to set up a Carolina rig and throw that thing and fish slow. I hate fishing slow. I want to be constantly moving. But that Carolina rig and me, we've had some good tournaments, but I'm not throwing him until it's the last ditch effort.
Thank you, Jacob. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now let's check out the latest Big Catch of the Week winner.
Hey everybody, we're back at the Greg Verm Guide Service House right on the water at Freeport, Texas, getting ready to pack everything up after a great day's fishing just outside our door. And it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. He is Dustin Davis of Rogersville, Tennessee, with a 2.5-pound crappie he caught at Cherokee Lake in Tennessee. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com and you can send us your big fish photo there, or you can go to our Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com and search for Fox Sports Outdoors. You can post your picture there. In either case, you'll be eligible to have your picture with your big fish shown here on our television show. Next up, I'd like to show you some of the gear we use to catch these redfish and flounder on this week's episode, and it begins with the Lew's Mach Inshore SLP factory matched rod and reel combo. This is the super low profile Mach Inshore reel. It's the one that's white and dark blue in color. It's got two different braking systems, one internal, one external. It's got the Win dry tack knobs on the handles. It's got a big line capacity to fight those redfish, but it's a super low profile design that fits easily in the palm of your hand. And they've got it matched with the Lew's Mach Inshore speed stick rod. It's got the microwave guide system for long and straight casts. And again, it's got the Win dry tack handles, so it's very comfortable for you to fish all day in salt water. And as far as the bait was concerned, we really discovered something late this afternoon when we caught most of our redfish and lost several great big ones on the Strike King Redfish Magic spinnerbait. It's a real cool little spinnerbait. It's got a big Colorado blade, and it's got a big, strong single hook to fight those big redfish, and you can rig whatever plastic trailer tail on the bottom of it that you'd like. It comes with one, but you can also change colors anytime you'd like. I was going through a small restaurant at an airport recently when I saw a sign that read as follows: "We will be happy to take your order as soon as you are finished with your phone call." Did it ever dawn on anyone that it's just plain rude to be on your phone when they're checking out your groceries, or when you're placing your order with a waiter, or when you're going through a drive-thru and placing your order there? Put yourself in the other person's place. Put the phone down long enough to place your order or get your groceries checked out. It's just common courtesy. We had a great time on this week's episode fishing here at Freeport, Texas with Captain Greg Verm Jr. If you'd like to book your very own trip here to fish with Greg or his dad or any of their other fine captains that guide here at Freeport, you can contact them at the information you see on your screen. They've got a guest house where you can stay right on the water. You can either fish inshore for the redfish and speckled trout and flounder, or go offshore for the kingfish, cobia, and red snapper here at Freeport, or you can book a trip right over at Galveston, the same contact information you see on your screen. From beautiful Freeport, Texas, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.